perfect fit.
Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Talk Numbers on the Papare.com. I'm your host Lasith De Silva. On today's edition, we'll bring you all the numbers related to the history in T20 cricket between Sri Lanka and Australia.
Sri Lanka and Australia have a rich history in the format, with Sri Lanka winning the T20 World Cup in 2014 and Australia being the reigning World T20 champions. These two teams have met each other 22 times in the format, and Australians have the upper hand with 13 wins while Sri Lankans have 9 wins. Out of the last 10 matches between the two teams, Australia managed to dominate with 9 victories. The last bilateral series between the two teams took place in Australia at the start of this year, and the hosts clinched victory 4-1. The 3-match series will begin on the 7th of June at the R. Premadas International Cricket Stadium, and the venue has not been a happy hunting ground for the host Sri Lanka, with only 6 wins out of 26 matches. Australians, on the other hand, have a good win percentage at the venue with 5 wins in 7 matches. The two teams met once at this venue in 2016 and Australia walked out victorious. After the first 2 matches, the series will move to Palikale for the third and final encounter. At this venue, Sri Lanka has a much better record with 9 wins in 17 matches, while the visitors Australia have played here thrice and won only 1 game. All 3 matches which they have played at Palikale were against Sri Lanka. Moving on to the batting side of things, Dilshan completely dominates the numbers against Australia.
The perfect fit.
With 252 runs in 10 matches versus them, he holds the record for the most runs. His magnificent knock of 104 against Australia in 2011 is the highest individual score by a Sri Lankan against them. Also, the records for most fours and most sixers belongs to him with 31 fours and 7 sixers. For Australia, David Warner has scored most runs against Sri Lanka with 512 runs in 13 matches. He also holds the record for the most fours with 56. The explosive player Maxwell holds the record for the highest individual score with his unbeaten 145 in 2016, while the most sixes record belongs to him with 19 maximum. One of the greatest T20 bowlers in the history of the game, Lasith Malinga has taken the most number of T20 wickets against Australia with 12 wickets in 12 matches. Former Sri Lankan mystery spinner Ajantha Mendis took 6 for 16 against Australia in 2011, which is still the best bowling figures for a Sri Lankan against Australia. Australian leg spinner Zampa has dismissed 21 Sri Lankan batters in 12 matches and holds the record for the most number of wickets. Josh Hazlewood's 4 for 12 in January this year is the best bowling figures for an Australian against Sri Lanka. Dilshan and Jeewan Mendis is the pair with the highest T20 partnership against Australia, thanks to their 104 run stand for the 4th wicket back in 2011. For Australia, David Warner and Finch holds the record for the highest partnership with 122 run stand for the first wicket back in 2019. The winning Australians also have another special record in Sri Lanka, which is the highest partnership for any wicket on Sri Lankan soil, held by Shane Watson and David Warner, with 133 run stand for the first wicket against India during the 2012 T20 World Cup.